Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Iridium Axel, and today we're going to be going over the basics of Hitfilm for Express. So, first, I'm going to open it up. You can download Hitfilm from their website. If you just search Hitfilm for Express, it should be the first thing that comes up. So now we have it opened, and I have plenty of saved profiles and stuff right here that I use for my various videos, but we're just going to create a new one since it's assumed to be your first time. So let's start out like this. We have our template. You can choose from many, or you can edit it yourself. So the default we're going with is 1080p Full HD 30 FPS. So 1920 width, 1080 height, 30 frames per second, and you can leave all of this as standard. You just want to match it to whatever video you're putting in. I'm going to go ahead and change the frame rate to 60 because a lot of the video that I deal with is going to be in 60 FPS. So let's go to start editing, because I'm going to save compositing for another video since this is the very basics, and probably most of the people who are going to want to look at this are people who are more fans of the editing part of videos. Compositing is more for making animations and stuff, but I'll go over that more in later videos. So this isn't your default setup. This is how I have mine laid out. I'm just going to make sure that I have this created as mine, like have it saved so that I can get to it later. But what you're going to get when you first go to editing is this. This is your workspace. So let's go over pretty much what this is one at a time. So we have the trimmer up here. That's, I believe, for cutting parts of the footage. I've never actually used it. I've never had to use it. I've never had any use for it. So, yeah. Down here you have more important stuff. So this is your media, effects, controls, history, text, all that stuff. Okay? So you're going to start just on the media tab. This is your editor timeline, and this is your meters. And for any of these, you can right click and hit float container and completely separate it from the actual video. So you can have it so that you can move it around to different places if you want to. I just went ahead and closed that because I didn't need it. But so this is what you have now. I'm going to go ahead, find some video to just slap in here. I think in here? Yeah, in here. So I'll just grab, sure, this about minute clip. So you can toss it directly into the timeline just like that, but you always have to put your footage or your images or whatever into the media area first. This is like the pool that you take from. Okay, so at first, it seems very convoluted. Why would I want to do that instead of just dropping it directly into the timeline? Because if we look here, I just move this to the side, you can't drop it directly into the timeline. You can only put it into your media access panel. And that is quite useful, actually, because you have every single clip you'll need in one place. You don't have to go sorting through your files to find them after you've already put them into your media. You can access them at any time. And once you get into composite shots, again, those are more for animations and such, you're going to be appreciating that a lot more. So we have our clip now. We can drag it from here right into the timeline anywhere you want in it. It says up in the middle. I just pointed at it, but you can't see me. But it says up on the video watcher, viewer. Yeah, that's what it's called. Where you are in the timeline. I'm just going to stick it at 0, 0. So this is our clip. And so what we have here, you have the video and the audio. Now, the first thing I'm going to recommend you do before anything else is, unless you're going off of the visual cues of like the single frames that it displays along there, you're going to want to come down here, click this, go to video size, small. and that will remove the thumbnails. And for some reason, that makes Hitfilm run just unimaginably smoother. Okay, so all right, guys, this is what we have so far. As you can see, it's running pretty smoothly. If you don't have a good graphics card or something like that, you can always come up here, turn it down from full video to quarter. It will run at a quarter resolution, and a lot of times it goes faster. I can run it at full because I have a GTX 1070, so super fast graphics card. I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's how you put your video in. Let's say maybe now you want audio, some music, audio stuff right here. So that's the music I used for my intro. I forgot who it's written by, but it's really good. That's the music I have for my Searchreon dev intro. So I just slap that into the media and then put it into this. And as you can see, it's a lot longer than my clip. But say I want it to last for just the length of my clip. So I just bring it down here by grabbing the end with my tool selected right here. By the way, these are all your various tools. We'll go over them individually as we go through this tutorial. So now you have that music right there. If I press play, this is what we have so far. There you go. Now you can sort of hear it's overshadowing my voice a good bit. So I'm going to grab right here this little line. This is its level. So all the way down here, that's silent. You want to bring it just down a little bit. Say that's your goal. Now you can hear your voice, also hear the music in the background a bit better. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now let's go to effects. Say I want to fade into this video. So we're just going to go to effects, type in fade, and we have a fade for audio and a fade to color for video. So first we're going to slap that fade on the audio, and why not onto our voice also. It's going to send you to controls so you can control the fade if you want to, but we just want to add it. And you can put it in between clips or on the beginning or on the end. So you have 3 options for what to do with it. I'll also have my music fade out, but not my voice. And then we can add fade to color to the beginning of our clip. So if we go to the beginning, it starts out black. Guys, this is what we have and it so fades far. In nice and smoothly like that. Now, if you want to more specifically change the audio levels, you can just hit whatever, you can just select whatever it is you're trying to change, go to Properties, and Level right here. So you can change what it is from here in exact amounts. So say I want exactly negative 22 decibels. I just type that in right there, and that's what we get. Okay, so now let's say there's a bit in the middle of this video that I don't really like. So I'll find where that is, select the area right here. Also, I should say, clicking around inside of the timeline isn't going to do anything. When you want to move around the timeline, you have to click at this top bit right here. You can either just click and drag, or you can click to the exact position you want. So say right here, I don't want this bit of video from here to here. So what I'm going to do is right here on the side, we can select the slice tool. Now, each one of these have a hotkey for them. At least I think they do. No, the rate stretch tool doesn't, but I believe all the rest of them do. So it's V for the selection tool, C for the slice tool. So I'm just going to hit C. As you can see, it's selected now. And I'm going to cut right here. So that cuts both the audio and the video for that clip. And that's because they were linked together. So I can undo that by hitting Control Z. Now if I right click on it, hit unlink, the audio and video are no longer together anymore. They're still in the same place, but they aren't linked together. So if I just select the video, then hit C, okay, and I cut it right there by just clicking, as you can see, it only cut the video. I'm going to want to cut the audio as well, so you just click a little further down on that, and then we come right over here. This is where we want our video to cut out more, and we can just delete that. And we're doing this by right-clicking, or you can just select it and then hit the delete key. And right here, we're going to ripple delete object, and that makes it so that all of the clips ahead of it shift back to fill in that gap that we're making. And you can do that by selecting it and hit Alt Delete. So now that's all right there. We can go back to our selection tool, sort of zip that in there. So now right in the middle of our clip, sort of like it's going to have just a quick and sudden abrupt cut.
Over here, the 3x3.
So say we wanted a fade there as well. We can just come right here. I think I put that in the middle. Yeah, I did. So you can zoom in by hitting Control and then scrolling. Down here, this is where you control how far in you're zooming. So you can zoom all the way out, in a little bit, more, all the way down to here. So this is 21 seconds, and this is 21.5 seconds. So it gives you a ton of options as far as how specific you want to get with your edits. But I'm just going to zoom out some. And as you can see, right here, we have our fade.
And over here, things out. Over here,
all right, we had a bit of lag there, so you couldn't see it very clearly. But trust me, it faded out and then back in. It just sort of skipped that part in the display. And sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes you'll get a lag spike and, like, say an effect that you planned out, it doesn't look right, but once you render it, you'll see it just fine. And that's because when going through effects or swapping between clips, the editor just gets a little bit of a lag spike and it doesn't process it quite right for you to view it. But in every other sense, it's perfectly fine. All right, so now let's say you want a custom fade. So we're just going to delete the fade on the video. I'm not going to deal with the audio right this second. But say we want a custom fade for the beginning. So you're going to go to the beginning, select the video, and then go to Transform. And right here where it says Opacity, you're going to click this little dot here. And as soon as you do that, that's going to create a keyframe right there. And a keyframe is pretty much the state that the video is in at that exact moment. So it stays there and it saves it into memory. So what we're going to do, we hit that so that it creates a keyframe. And whenever you change it, it changes the keyframe as long as you're in the exact same spot, okay? So we're going to bring it to 0, 0, so 0% opacity. That means it's entirely invisible. And say we don't want it to fade in until we're 5 seconds into the video. Wow, I'm surprised I actually got exactly 5 seconds there. Okay, so now all we have to do is bring it up to 100. That creates another keyframe, and there, we have the fade. That's all you had to do.
All right, guys,
we can
this
hit
is
play,
what we have so
and it's
far.
fading in just like that. Now you may see the checkerboard pattern and think, well, that's kind of weird. That's to differentiate between black in the video and actual emptiness. So that's all you need to know about that. You don't have to worry about it. The checkerboard will not show up. That's just a visual indicator to let you know what's going on. Okay? So, there we go. Say we want to add another video in. I'm sure by now you can sort of guess how that would work. Let's just go back to our video. Right here. Yeah. Let's see. I'd like a short one. There we go. 36 seconds is fine. And I'll just slap it right here next to it. And as you can see right here,
in a second.
All right, the music faded
guys,
out,
so
and we
this
just
is what
cut
we
straight to
have
that.
so far.
And again,
We are
it's linked together, just a
building a
normal
rim right
clip. So that's how you can deal with that. The various tabs here are all very useful. The History tab is especially useful because you can scroll through it and go back to any part before you messed something up horribly, rather than just hitting Control-Z a bunch of times. I don't use it too often because I don't make mistakes, but that's definitely a useful tab to have. Let's see, Controls, that gives you access to your properties and effects. Now, I think I may have said this, but most effects, at least a bunch of effects, only work on composite shots. That's what they're made for. So you can't use those in this timeline. In fact, all of your abilities to edit footage are very limited in the timeline. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's most of what we're going to go over as far as editing goes. So now let's say you're done editing your video. This is what you want. This is your beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm going to add a fade because I'm fancy like that. Now, all you're going to do is go up here to export, click on that, hit MP4, and now you can mess with your settings some. Now, the default for 30 is going to be perfectly fine, but when you want to do 60 FPS, you're going to have to change this, the M.264, I think that's it. You need to change that to right here, 4.2 at least, and then you can render in 60 FPS. I like having my target bit rate at 10 Mbps and my max bit rate at 15, so no matter what, your video shouldn't look bad like that. If you don't know what those terms mean, I suggest Google, unless I make some video in the future to explain it. So here we go. Bitrate for audio, that's perfectly fine. We can keep it that way. Export video and audio is what you want. Up here, timeline editor. That's what you want. If you're doing a composite shot and you just want to render the composite shot, that's cool. That's fine. You just have to select composite shot there. And export area, content area, not work area, and not entire timeline, because your timeline can be stretched by video that you put in there and then deleted. So you pretty much always want to go for content area. So there we go. Now you can just hit export, select a name for it. So this is test clips, hit enter, and now it's going to go ahead and get started. Once it's done, you'll have your video, and that's the basics. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and possibly learn something. If you did enjoy it, please don't be shy. Leave a like. If you would like to join my Discord, that will be in the description of this video, so we can talk about cool stuff like video games and tech. Anyway, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.